Hey guys, Tarke here, and since I've been playing a summoner, a certain reoccurring issue has been rearing its very ugly head again, and it's really starting to bother me. So, as many of you know, there's a distinct lack of keybinds in Path of Exile. So currently, I'm in a situation where I would like to use both Phase Run and Flame Dash. Now you can see there's a slight lack of space available on my bars, even if I am in the situation of like binding my move only to like a golem or something. Now, you could like bind your move only to a movement skill, but to be honest, I would still like a decoy totem, and I could fit a decoy totem into my links. And there's loads of other things, and this isn't the only build, but it's just like, it's just a reoccurring thing. Now, usually when it comes to the whole, like, yeah, Tarke, we get it, one extra keybinds, I feel like the discussion's slightly more interesting, because the last few leagues have been really good at pushing additional keybinds, just, you know, outside of the actual action bar. So the technology is there, and you can't really use the argument that, you know, it would be ugly on the UI, because, I mean, this doesn't look that great on the UI, but we've added 2 extra keys. Or that it'd be confusing for the player base, so we can't expect the player base to, you know, be able to press extra buttons, because the stuff that is there. So the technology exists, you can't really use UI as an argument. So I think it's a goodish time to kind of have this discussion again. Now, in the past, GGG has acknowledged the lack of keybinds, have said that it's something they would like to do at some point, and they've thrown around a few ideas, but they've never really done it. But, I mean, this would do. If we could literally just have an extra 2 buttons at the top, it would be perfect. And it's kind of also interesting looking at it from a design point of view. So if you go back far enough where, you know, people start having these complaints about not enough keybinds, we had, like, the automation of actions. So we had cast and damage taken. There used to be no automation in PoE, but then we had, like, cast and damage taken, stuff like curse on hit. And you had lots of, like, abilities bundled in together. So you used to be able to do, like, cast and damage taken war cries, for example. And then when you had suddenly all of the curses being able to apply to a curse on hit setup rather than individually, we went from having, like, very little space on our bars to suddenly lots of space on our bars. But then we've kind of gone the other way. So we've had the Val skill rework. Val skill rework adds a lot of extra keys, at least 1 key to most builds these days. We've then had instant skills reworked. We've then had a constant addition of strong and cool utility skills, totems, war cries. With the trap rework, we saw a lot of cool supplementary traps coming out. You know, stuff like Frost Bomb is always in the mix. A lot of the new summons, stuff like Holy Relic, golems in general. There are so many, like, very powerful and very cool new utility skills being added, and the more that gets added, the further this becomes, like, more of an issue. Now, I'm sure it's something that eventually will be fixed, and if we're really lucky, could even be fixed in the next major update, but I feel like it's a good time to kind of use my spot and be like, hey guys, could we talk about this again? I feel like this is an important thing to discuss, because I think it's a really important thing to discuss. Now, when it comes to, like, what is the perfect amount, what is too many, what is too much, there are a few different ways you could do it. So you could have an idea of, like, shift modifiers, so that you could bind extra buttons, and then the shift buttons wouldn't even be shown here. So, like, for example, you could just, like, hover over this and press, like, Shift Q, and then you have Phase Run default on Q, and then, like, Convocation on Shift Q. That way you wouldn't even need to, like, redo the overlay, maybe just have, like, a small mini button on the top there or something. That could sort of maybe work. You could have a system like this, where you literally just have a few extra floating buttons. I think that generally, something like, we currently have access to, realistically, 7 keybinds, 8 keybinds if you get rid of move only, but most people it's like you have 7 keybinds. I think that 12, with 12 keybinds, you could bind pretty much anything that you want for your build. Even 10 would be nice. I feel like 12 is kind of like, if we had 12, that would shut people up for a really long time. Obviously, in an ideal system, we could have multiple keybinds, start bringing shift and control modifiers. But the argument that we don't want too many buttons in PoE is ludicrous, because we keep adding extra buttons, and realistically, we only need an extra 2 to 4 for it to feel really good. Another thing for you to consider is the maximum amount of buttons actually available would be 50. So that would be 25 Vol, 1 socket skills, bound, you know, 6 from weapons, 6 in chest, 12, 16, 17, 18, 19 from talisman, 23, 27. I think I counted something wrong, but let's say 27 then, so double it, 50, 4 quick maths with Vile Skulls. I'm pretty sure I did the maths wrong somewhere. But you get the idea, right? Now, I'm not saying we suddenly need to get 50 keybinds. But, 12 would be the absolute perfect sweet spot. Please. It would be really, really nice. And that's kind of all I have to say. But yeah, I'm playing a summoner now as a little mini update. I love Delve, by the way. I'm not anti having extra buttons. I just feel like you can't use it as an excuse now for us not to have more. But yes, I'm Tarke. Have a good day. Buttons, by the way. Bye-bye.